So there are three shifts right now. God is replaced with the universe. The body, the soul is replaced with the body, a focus on the body. And then the afterlife is replaced with what? This life. And then the final one, the scariest one. When you had a religious doctrine, who decides what's right and wrong? The Pope does. Even if the Pope doesn't, okay, maybe the Bible does. Revelation will decide what is right and what is wrong. But now that we're free from the clutches of religion, we don't need anybody to tell us what is absolutely right and what is absolutely wrong. We should be able to figure that out for ourselves. We should figure that out for ourselves. So morality that used to be absolute, this is wrong. Now we don't need that anymore. Morality became relative. In other words, your right and wrong doesn't have to be the same as what? My right and wrong. That's your worldview, this is my worldview. And even as a society, there's some things that we considered wrong 20 years ago, but 10 years ago they became okay, and 10 years later they became awesome. You can celebrate them. Have you seen this in your own experience? Right? So morality is constantly shifting. You don't have a set definition for what is right and what is wrong. You don't need that anymore. By the way, where do you get set definitions for right and wrong? Through revelation. So this last shift from absolute morality to relative morality, you know what it's directly related to? The role of revelation replaced with the role of reason. You don't need revelation anymore. You can use your logic and come up with your own morals. Revelation is, unreasonable. Now notice these four shifts that I talked about. Notice how all of them go from something unseen to something seen. Did you notice that? Allah is in the unseen, the universe is in the seen. The soul is in the unseen, the body is in the seen. The afterlife is in the unseen, and this life is in the seen. Revelation comes from the unseen, its authenticity is in the unseen, its values are in the unseen, but the reasoning and logic and my own thinking is what? It's in the seen, it's now. In other words, there's a focus away from the ghaib. Now listen to this. Imam Nawawi rahimahullah, he collected all of the ahadith on DAJJAL. DAJJAL has lots of ahadith. And he basically summarized the lesson that comes from all of those ahadith. He says, ابْتَلَى اللَّهُ بِهِ عِبَادَهُ. Allah will test using him, his slaves. Using who? Using DAJJAL. Allah will test his slaves. وَأَقْدَرَهُ عَلَى أَشْيَاءَ مِن مَقْدُورَاتِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى مِنْ إِحْيَاءِ الْمَيِّتِ الَّذِي يَقْتُلُهُ. And Allah will empower him with things that are usually only in the dominion of Allah. For example, he will be able to give life to the dead that he himself kills. وَمِن ظُهُورِ زَهْرَةِ الدُّنْيَا. And he will bring out the beauties of worldly life. وَالْخَصَبِ مَعَهُ. And the greenery and produce out of it. وَجَنَّتِهِ وَنَارِهِ وَنَهَرَيْهِ. And he will have his own version of Jannah, his own version of Nar, and his own two rivers. وَاتِّبَاعِ كُنُوزِ الْأَرْضِ لَهُ. And he will follow the resources of this earth, and the resources of this earth will submit to him. They will come under his feet. وَأَمْرِهِ السَّمَاءَ أَن تُمْطِرَ فَتُمْطِرْ. And his ability to command the sky to rain, and it will rain. وَالْأَرْضِ أَن تُنْبِتَ فَتُنْبِتْ. And he'll tell the earth to produce, and it will produce. فَيَقَعُ كُلُّ ذَلِكَ بِقُدْرَةِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى وَمَشِيئَتِهِ. All of that will happen by the power of Allah and His will. By the way, is artificial rain a reality? Is artificial production a reality today? Is, are limbs being regenerated? Is there a worldly concept of Jannah and Jahannam already? Are resources of the world being put to use? Resources you could not have imagined? Sand and silicone being put to technology's use? Treasures of the earth that could never have been considered treasures in history are now treasures? Right? All of this, by the way, all of this seems to suggest what? DAJJAL makes you focus on the seen.